They scored the soundtrack to countless crushes, taking a generation of fans on a rhythmic ride of heartfelt emotion.
It was just hysteria.
There was this enduring emotionalism in Journey's relationship with their audience.
They knew the lyrics and sang along.
Journey flew to the top on the soaring voice of Steve Perry. The band perfected ballads and bombast, selling nearly 70 million records. But then their frontman found the grip of fame too tight to bear.
I told him, I just don't think I can do it anymore. I think I just want to stop.
The joke was, you know, Elvis has left the building. There was no more Steve.
He would just sort of tune out and walk away, and I'm going, hello?
I never really felt like I was part of the band. I know that's difficult to see, but I really always felt that I was the outside guy.
When the lights go down in the city.
Without warning, the band disappeared from view, leaving fans wondering if Journey had reached its end.
People wanted an easy answer to a question that was hard, and there was no easy answer for it.
The band was missing for nearly a decade when the world learned Journey was ready to return. But prospects for their spectacular comeback vanished in an instant.
All of a sudden, I started having acute pain in my left side, and I didn't think I was going to make it off the mountain.
He phoned me and said, "I've never been in this much pain in my life."
Now, one of rock and roll's greatest mysteries unraveled. Journey, behind the music.
Come on, buddy. Step on back.
Lying beside you, here in the dark.
It may be the best-known rock ballad ever written, a backdrop for decades of long dances and slow kisses.
We sailed on together, we drifted apart.
I had no idea that Open Arms would become so personal to people's hearts. I just knew that this was a classic, beautiful melody.
Singer Steve Perry made Open Arms a monster hit with Journey in 1981, but he hasn't performed the song with the band in over 15 years. Now the song is being sung by a different Steve, new Journey frontman Steve Augeri, recruited after Steve Perry withdrew from public view.
It was frightening going out on stage, and it was scary being compared to one of the greatest rock and roll vocalists in rock and roll history.
For Steve Perry, it is a troubling end to his long voyage with Journey. Perry says he misses performing.
It is something that crosses my mind, I don't know how many times a day. And it's something that I try to think about and at the same time not think about. It's a very difficult thing because it is something I love doing.
Perry's former bandmates say that after years of waiting for Steve to return to performing, they ran out of patience. They had to move on.
The hardest thing was to call Steve Perry and say, we're going to go forward with this. And he's like, well, you know, there's no coming back. And I said, I know that.
After a decade at the pinnacle and another in purgatory, Steve Perry and Journey have finally fractured apart.
People change, you know. That's all I can say. I changed, he changed, we all changed.
Change has been a constant during Journey's 3 decades of existence. The only permanent player has been co-founder Neal Schon, a Bay Area native who was captivated by music before he was even in his teens.
I used to have this little turntable in my bedroom, and I had like 3 or 4 records that I'd play every night. Cream, Hendrix, Cream. I'd go to sleep listening to this stuff all night long.
By the spring of '68, Neil was a 14-year-old budding guitar maestro, a familiar face at Bay Area studios. He soon began jamming with Gregg Rolie, singer and keyboardist for the Latin fusion supergroup Santana.
Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman.
I used to go pick him up from high school because he really wasn't going to high school. He was there, but he wasn't going to high school.
He'd come up, I'd split with him, and we'd go play music.
After witnessing Neil's wicked guitar licks, Carlos Santana asked Neil to join his band. So in 1969, at just 15 years old, Neil left high school and embarked on a life of rock and roll.
I just thought it was part of the norm at that time. I don't know. I look back at it now and I realize that it was a pretty amazing time period in my life. And it just freaks me out every time I see an old Santana video and look at myself and I'm like, I'm a baby, basically.
By May of '72, Sean and Rolie had tired of the Santana sound. The two rockers were urged to build a new band around Neil's stunning axe work. The passionate vision for this upstart group came from Santana road manager Herbie Herbert.
Neil was, I thought, the quintessential guitar expressionist of the time. We wanted to say, hey, there's something sophisticated that can go on with music. Music can really take you somewhere.
The band had no interest in pumping out pop. Instead, they indulged themselves with lengthy solos. Their style wasn't radio-friendly, and neither was their name, the Golden Gate Rhythm Section.
So we decided to do a radio promotion and get the fans to write in and give us their thoughts on what the band should be named.
And they came up with some of the most horrendous names. Hippopotamus, Rumpled Foreskin.
Appalled, the band turned to their entourage. A member of their road crew finally came up with a name that stuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Pride of the West, Journey!
The fledgling band signed an album deal with CBS Records. Between 1974 and 1977, the group released 3 albums, but a cult following didn't add up to record sales.
CBS said, if we don't sell X amount of copies of the next album, they were going to just drop us.
They wanted a front man, someone that could get us on the radio, because they couldn't get us on the radio, man.
Manager Herbie Herbert told the group they needed to leave their solos behind and find a singer to lead Journey on a hit parade.
I wasn't certain that I was going to like it, to be completely honest. And there's still things that I don't like about it. But this is how I make my living, you know, and I need to pay the bills.
Herbie sorted through stacks of demo tapes given to him by a CBS exec. Finally, a strangely familiar voice caught his ear.
The demo tape was phenomenal, and the singer was great. And I said to him, I said, you know, you're going to tell me the singer is Steve Perry. This name has been coming in and out of my life from the beginning of time.
Herbie Herbert had crossed paths with Steve Perry dozens of times. After years of paying dues on the LA music scene, Steve finally hit a groove in 1977 with a band called Alien Project. But on the verge of signing a record deal, the group's bass player was killed in a car accident, and the band died with him.
I lost my faith in the whole concept, and